This is Joe. Welcome back to the channel. Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, today myself and Matthew are out at the Lala Cafe in Northeast Albuquerque. We brought a couple old typewriters and we're going to do some like workshop practice. We're going to be practicing writing poetry. The idea is eventually we'd like to be able to do public typewriter busking, poetry busking, that's out in public, setting up a typewriter and maybe writing poems as people give us prompts. But we've never really done it before, and we want to kind of go through the mechanics of how you would do it. So we both brought some old typewriters from the 30s. I have actually a 1929 Corona 3, and Matthew has an Underwood Universal from the 30s. And we're practicing the mechanics of how we're going to format our poems, what size paper, what grade of paper, how we line up, like how to format our little titles, our headers, the style of the poem, and then just practicing typing poems. And we're going to give each other typing prompts so that we can kind of get used to the idea of someone giving us a prompt and sitting there and writing a poem. And of course, a poetry can be a lot of different styles of writing. And also, I should mention very importantly, poetry is an actual form of literature, and just because you have a typewriter doesn't make you a poet, just like if you have a hammer doesn't make you a carpenter. But we're hoping that we're going to at least unearth from within the depths of our souls a little bit of poetic talent, maybe, or maybe not. Let's find out. Stay tuned. Well, so Matthew and I have started our first meager attempts, well, in my case, meager attempts at poetry in public. And this is sort of like virtual public because we're actually sitting by ourselves in a rather quiet coffee shop and we're not actually writing or typing poems for other people. But anyways, we have a couple poems that we've written here, and let's take a look at them. Okay, the first one is Matthew's, and I gave him a prompt of why he doesn't drink coffee. Coffee by Matt. Coffee I don't drink. Why is that, you do wonder? Simple. It tastes bad. That did not say much. I will delve deeper in this burnt-tasting liquid. Now you know my truth. Get more coffee for yourself. I'll have something else. That's pretty cool. And then the prompt that Matthew gave me was about pianos, because across the room, which you may not be able to see, across the room is a piano. And somebody earlier was playing the piano. This is Tickling the Ivories. They say a piano is a big box of parts, keys, rods, wires, and some lost dreams. They say it takes 3 men and a small boy to move a piano, but why would you unless someone died? They say the piano makes the best music, hands on keys, both black and white, spanning octaves and generations. The room now empty, shadows and dust and ancient memories now arrayed like pallbearers with caskets. Well, that was our first start at public poetry, and we're still here, and I'm going to order another coffee or so, and we're going to do some more typing poems.
That's it for that poem.
Strawberry, blueberry. definitely good. So then we decided to give each other the same prompt, which is about clouds. And then, so Matthew wrote this poem. And I wrote this poem. And I think it's very interesting how, with the same prompt, we have two entirely different poems, which is the beauty of poetry itself, right? Is the creator who makes it is totally unique. Well, we are almost done. I think I have 5 pieces that I've written, so that's pretty good. And we've given each other typing prompts, poetry prompts, which has been a lot of fun. And it's fun being able to work on learning how to format the poem into a small piece of paper, making it look presentable. I'm using some typographic styles like these little decorative border margin thingies on the top that our friend Aldo from Italy reminded me of in a recent letter. They're called Fezzi, Fezzi, I think, in Italian. Anyways, it's nice doing those little border effects, and I have my little signature with the trefoil stamp that I use. But anyways, it's been a lot of fun here with Matthew, and let me see if Matthew wants to give us any final comments himself.
This was really, really fun. I had a blast, writing poetry with Joe, and I hope we can do this again.
Well, in the meantime, if you have a writer friend, a typing buddy, go out to some coffee shop or cafe and bring your typewriters and practice writing some poetry, getting used to the idea of doing public typewriter busking. At least work on the mechanics of it, like what we've done today. What size paper, how to format it, how to center your titles, how to make your poetry look presentable, how to get the lines and stanzas working for you, which typewriter to bring. I think Matthew and I both agree that it's nice having these older machines that kind of look the part of a typewriter, poet's typewriter. I think the Corona 3 worked pretty good considering how old it is and how primitive it might be, but it worked fine. And Matthew's Underwood Universal is a great machine also. And I think we also, both of us, have some portables. Matthew has a Royal P, I have a Royal O, and I think those machines are fine too. But we were thinking about what's the right typeface, and we think that Pica is probably a little bit better for poetry rather than Elite. And my Royal O is Elite, I think. So having a Pica machine is probably a little bit better. Having slightly bigger font also means you don't have to write as many words on a line, so you can keep the poem a little bit shorter perhaps. Well, anyway, this has been a fun little practice session of poetry out in public. And until next time, you guys stay creative and have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye for now.